Welcome to My Repair Kit. I'm Eric Jacobson. In this video, we'll be repairing a mahogany coffee table leg that is broken completely in half. The first step is to remove any loose wood particles, which could stop the two pieces from joining properly. Squeeze it together to see how well the joint aligns. I use standard wood glue and start applying it into the break. Good thing about this glue is it takes 24 hours to cure and it cleans up easy with a damp cloth. I put this clamp on initially just to hold it in place while I clean off excess glue and get all my other clamps ready. Now that I have it positioned where I like, it's time to add the rest of the clamps. Again, wipe off any excess glue, check the alignment, and finish adding the rest of the clamps. I ended up using 7 clamps for this break. How many do you think you would have used? The next day, approximately 24 hours later, it's time to take the clamps off. You can see the alignment on all sides is nearly perfect. This table has a heavy stone top, so it's best to add reinforcement through the break. I drill a pilot hole and use a countersink so that the screw heads sit below the surface. I use Bondo to conceal the screws. I always use a razor blade to trim off excess filler. Now I can apply a thinner coat of filler over the area, which will create a smoother surface and be easier for me to sand. I begin sanding with 400 grit sandpaper. Using anything more coarse will remove excess amount of finish and may leave sanding scratches. We'll talk about this touch-up process as we proceed, but the liquid that is used is called Lackover, L-A-C-O-V-E-R by Mohawk Finishes. I currently do not have any affiliation with this company, but I've used their products for almost 30 years. The jars that you see are pigments. I'm using burnt sienna, black, and orange. I want to mention, as I perform this touch-up, that the colors may look different on camera than they do in person. It also doesn't help that there are 2 major spotlights only feet away from the repair. But you can see the process. I get a base color down to cover the Bondo, and then I start incorporating grain and other characteristics. This is the rear of the leg, so once the top is on, nobody will ever see this again. Now we'll go over the rest of this repair a little more in depth. This next step is the same as it was previously. Fill the damage and then trim the excess Bondo. Because the break was glued near perfect with no gaps, there only needs to be 1 filling, and I can sand perfectly smooth with 600 grit sandpaper. Also notice that the minimal amount of sanding didn't really move that much of the original color, which will make our touch-up even easier. Now we have to perform the same process on the other 2 sides of the leg. Remove any excess glue, fill, and sand. I'll try to speed this process up a little. Lacquer cleans off the sanding dust and builds finish back. Once again, you can see how the minimal amount of sanding removed a minimal amount of color. Thanks for helping me flip the table over, Dad. The whole video you've watched so far, the table was upside down. So now we're going to have the table right side up to give us a better look at the touch-up that's needed. I'm using the same 3 pigments that I was before, although this time I've added natural yellow. I initially lay down a base color just to cover the light areas. I am continuously mixing various amounts of pigments to create various tones. Some of these pigments go on translucent and some go on more opaque. It depends on how you mix them, but it's the layering that is going to create the effect of grain. At certain points of the repair, you are going to have to seal in your color. I use a clear satin tone finish by Mohawk. Spraying on the clear finish shows the true definition of the touch-up that you've applied. After that dries for a few minutes, I continue with color blending. The last step of color blending is applying some lacquer to a rag, using the pigments to blend in and feather out the repair. Add in any final details and give it one last coating of tone finish clear satin. And this repair is complete. As you can see, under normal lighting, the repair is virtually undetectable. Thank you for checking out My Repair Kit. You can find a book and supplies at myrepairkit.com, along with videos, before and after photos. You can find me at most social media platforms under My Repair Kit or My Repair Kit LLC. Thanks for watching.